A mostly boring slate for college football, to be quite frank, this weekend. However, the ACC had the top game. Pittsburgh went to Atlanta, and it looked like it was going to be a snoozer as Pitt was up 28-0 by the time the Clemson-Furman game was over. But Georgia Tech came roaring back, made it a really fun, exciting game. Pitt, of course, wins. Did they jump to number one in these power rankings? Does Miami, who blew out Virginia Tech, jump to number one? Virginia, do they hold firm? Or SMU, who took care of a collapsing Louisville? All four teams have a chance. And, of course, Georgia Tech's not too far behind either. And Wake Forest also looking good. We've really seen a couple teams separate, as Clemson, a team that started off number one, starts climbing slowly back up. Not to the top five, but slowly climbing back up. Let's take a look here at our ACC Power Rankings. So do the bottom quickly. Syracuse, 70-7 loss to Notre Dame. That's so bad. They haven't won since they beat Clemson. Probably the worst Clemson loss in the Sweeney era. To lose to them at home, and I know it was a little bit of a different team because they had quarterback Steve Angeli, but just atrocious. They'll actually play Boston College, so we'll get a good barometer of who's truly the worst team in the conference. I think Syracuse's record looks better because they beat Clemson, but it's a different team now. This Syracuse team is really bad. So I think I lean Boston College, and that's why I have Boston College 16. So those are the bottom two. BC had the week off. Virginia Tech loses to Miami in a game that wasn't so close, but it's all good news for Virginia Tech. Who cares if you lost that game? You've got James Franklin coming in. If you're watching these ACC Power Rankings every week, I said that like a month ago. You got to go get James Franklin to be perfect. Such a good fit. He was the model of consistency in a program not too far away. Sounds like Brent Pry might even become the defensive coordinator. That might be out of the discussion by the time you're watching this, but that would be exciting to put him back in a role where he thrives. I think Virginia Tech's going to be really good. Maybe not immediately, but with the portal, who knows? But give him 2 or 3 years. I'd be shocked if Franklin doesn't have him winning 8 or 9 regular season games almost every year or better. Stanford beats Cal in a blowout. Stunning. I can't believe it. JKS and Jacob DeJesus have been awesome. Really like those two players. But Stanford just dominated them in the trenches. Tougher team, more physical team, and they win. North Carolina just about beats Duke, but they fall short. And Florida State, in a total slop fest, loses in Raleigh to NC State. More on that when we get to NC State. Up next is Cal. Just mentioned they lost to Stanford, and then NC State above them. For NC State to win that game on a Friday, it required so many gaffes by Florida State that I'm not really rewarding NC State as much as I'm punishing Florida State, who drops really just from 11 to 12 in the rankings. Florida State had plenty of chances to win, but not only did they miss 2 field goals, they punted it. It was a short, bad punt that hit one of their own players in the back of the helmet, ricocheted all the way back, and NC State jumped on it from basically the same spot where Florida State had punted it, so essentially just like a turnover on downs. Then Florida State's defense gets another stop, forces another punt, and Squirrel White muffs the punt, gives NC State the ball deep into the red zone. Florida State basically gets a stop again. It's 4th and 6. Seems like they're going to go for a field goal. Really gutsy decision to go for it on 4th down to see if they could end the game. They get it to go up double digits, put the game out of reach. On 4th and 6, they convert and beat Florida State. So the NC State's going bowling. I guess Dave Doran's going to stay around. Good for them for finding a couple decent wins at the end of the year to salvage something. But NC State, they've got to be more than a fringe bowl team every year. Of course, again, Will Wade in that basketball program is awesome. That's probably where you want to put your revenue share. Maybe just have a decent, bowl game floor with Dave Doran. I don't know what your expectations are at NC State, but I don't see them being much more than an 8-win regular season team under Doran moving forward. So maybe they give them one more year. We'll see. And then Duke, they won. They beat UNC, but it required a late touchdown drive with some big conversions and a 2-point conversion to ice the game there and beat North Carolina. North Carolina's playing better ball. I have them at 13. They're not terrible. I mean, they're not good. Definitely not good. But if not for a fake punt on 4th down, fake punt by Duke where fake field goal where they kind of flip it and kicker catches it, runs it almost to the touchdown, and then Duke was able to run it in and then go for 2. If not for that, I don't know that Duke wins the game. Duke should have lost to Clemson. Their win expectancy in that game was, I think, 6%. They were very fortunate to beat Clemson. I don't know how good this Duke team is. Now they're gonna, I think they lose at home to Wake Forest next week, and that will make them 6-6. And this is a team that I was pretty wrong about. I didn't see them losing to UConn. I didn't see them losing to Tulane. I thought they had a real shot against Georgia Tech. They've really pretty much collapsed, and they'll be probably 6-6. Which, hey, for Duke, that's probably what you expect most years. But I thought they had more than that, especially with Darian Menzer, who's been great for them. A big-time transfer portal addition, but they didn't make the most of them. So they'll be either 6 or 7 wins, depending on what they do against Wake Forest. Louisville killed by SMU. They have really blown the season. Lost to Cal. So they beat Miami, and they pick up a few wins after that. They were close, and they didn't play great. They lose to Cal, which is not acceptable. Cal just got crushed by Stanford. Then they lose to Clemson, which was some bad luck. Their win expectancy in that game was over 80%, but still, they lose at home on a Friday night to probably the worst Clemson team in, 15 years, since 2010. And then they get just throttled by SMU. Jeff Brom can win those big games. He can go beat Clemson in Death Valley like last year. He could beat Miami in a thriller this year. He beat Ohio State back when he was with Purdue. But then he loses ridiculous games like to Stanford last year, to Cal this year. They're kind of the opposite of James Franklin. Gonna have the highest highs, but he's gonna give you those lows too. Disappointing finish for a Louisville team that I thought was a legitimate playoff contender. Clemson up to 7, finally in the top half of these rankings. It's been a while. A couple thoughts on Clemson here. So they win 45-10 senior day at home against Furman. That's great, but to kind of peel that back a little bit, they lose Olsen Pat Henry to a knee injury. They lose Jaheim Lawson to like an ankle injury. Both are not going to play in the Palmetto Bowl. Pretty brutal there. They had just lost Walker Parks and Braden Jacobs off the offensive line, so they're going to be short there. That's going to be tough to overcome on the road. Of note, I thought that the guards, the offensive linemen who came in, that'd be Harris Sewell and Colin Sadler. I've given them a lot of grief, and I have to acknowledge they looked really good against Furman. It's Furman, but they look good. Also, coming in in relief of them in this game, Ronan O'Connell and true freshman Gavin Blanchard also looked good. So, again, maybe it doesn't mean anything because it's Furman, but encouraging that you're not going to need like 4 transfers next year. I think at least of those 4, one of them could be a starter next year. So you don't have to get too many. I thought the right tackle with Mason Wade, it's hard to evaluate when you're watching the game live, but didn't catch my eye and making great plays or anything. So you probably need a tackle and then probably a center and maybe a guard. So you need at least 1, maybe 2 or 3 even next year through the portal. But some positives there. Thought Noah Dixon got burned a bit. I thought Braden Strosler had some good moments, but also some bad ones. Tight end Logan Brooking had a few bad plays. Ian Shefflin had his first career reception at tight end, which was exciting. The real thing to talk about, though, Chris Denson, man. 4th quarterback off the bench, runs for over 100 yards, 17 yards per carry on 6 carries, 4 for 4 passing. He was awesome, man. This guy is my QB2. No offense to Vizina, who was okay, I guess. But if you're not going to be good, be fun. I don't know if Clemson will be good next year. They could be. But Denson's definitely going to be fun at bare minimum. He runs all over the place. He's a really fun quarterback. He looked great in the spring game as a passer as well. I'm all aboard the Chris Denson hype train for next year. Go get Sam Leavitt from Arizona State. If he enters the portal, go get a 1-year stopgap if you can, and then maybe Denson's the future. I like Denson a lot, man. Wake Forest, they blew out Delaware. I think they beat Duke. I think they maybe can go win a bowl game, get to 10 wins. Kudos to Wake Forest. If they beat Duke, got to consider Dickert for Coach of the Year. To me, it's him or it's Tony Elliott. Really, really impressive surprise story for Wake Forest. Super, super impressive. All right, then we got these two. Pittsburgh has 3 losses, Georgia Tech only 2, but Pitt just went to Atlanta and won. Georgia Tech's defense has totally abandoned them. It's just disappeared as the years went on. I thought they'd be really bad defensively coming into the season. Looks like I was wrong, and then now it looks like I was right, just a little late. I wish Clemson could have played this Georgia Tech team. We can recap both of these, because they played each other. So Pitt is up 28 nothing early second quarter. Game seems over. Georgia Tech has that will to win. I've been saying they're not good, but they're just winners, and that was kind of true in this one. They were not good, that's for sure, but they wouldn't quit. They battled back, and they had several chances. At one point, they're down 14 in the red zone all year against Clemson. They did this. They just Haynes King, figure it out. Just figure it out. And he runs around and gets a touchdown. That's what he does every time. And I think because they were behind and feeling rushed, they were more pass heavy. So Haynes King throws a horrible interception at the goal line, 100-yard return, puts him back down 21. Absolutely devastating. Somehow they managed to get it all the way back, and with like 2.5 minutes left, they're back within a touchdown. They need to stop. They're going to use their timeouts. Stop them, get the ball back, make a final game-tying drive. They give him a 50-yard run immediately, lose the game. So I thought, I saw basically the last 3 quarters of the game. Georgia Tech was the better team, pretty much all of that. But boy, were their mistakes horrific. A 50-yard run to ice the game, a pick 6 to put them way behind. Just critical mistakes undermining what would have been a historic comeback. I think the stat was like an ACC team hasn't done it in 20 years. So devastating for those Georgia Tech fans. I thought the crowd was great. I will say, this is maybe a nitpick, I hate those in King we trust or all hail the king. I really hate that. It really irks me. I saw it. It reminds me of in 2017. I think it was 2017. Yes, 2017 in College Station. Clemson's playing at Texas A&M, and all these students are wearing "In Jimbo We Trust" shirts. In hindsight, it's just so tacky. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's a college kid, man. Don't do that. All right, here's the top 3. Miami moves up. I keep them above Pittsburgh because I think they probably beat Pittsburgh this weekend. They're playing really, really well. We saw the good of Pittsburgh. I love their freshman quarterback, Mason Heinschel. I would say it's something to dream on for next year, of course, but who knows? We just saw Klubnik have 20 fewer passing touchdowns this year so far as compared to last year. We see guys leave. So who knows? But where you're getting out of a true freshman is incredible for Pittsburgh. But when Carson Beck is good, he's really good. And he was really good against Virginia Tech. Miami actually didn't run the ball, which is weird. Didn't run it well. But they're the best team in the trenches in the ACC, and I think they're better than Pittsburgh. We'll see. They're not exactly a clutch program, but we'll see what they do. I picked Miami in that game, so I have them 3 above them. SMU beat Miami, and SMU crushed Louisville this week. I almost think SMU is going to win this conference, right? They're a really long field goal away from doing it last year, and they've just transitioned to the ACC so well. But Virginia deserves to still be number 1. Go beat. You're at home. Go beat Virginia Tech at home. Go 10-2. Go to the ACC title game, and you've had an extremely successful year. You do that. Tony Elliott should be Coach of the Year. Incredibly successful year. They went out. They made a ton of transfer portal additions, including Chandler Morris. They proved a Clemson guy, by the way. Tony Elliott proved you can go get 20 guys and go win the ACC. Dabo, maybe make a phone call and learn from them, because Tony Elliott and this Virginia program has been awesome. They deserve to be number 1. And honestly, it would probably be the best thing for the ACC if a team that didn't lose any non-conference games to teams outside the ACC, which is a weird catch there because they did lose a non-conference game to NC State, but they didn't lose to 2 Big 12 teams like SMU or get crushed by Notre Dame and lose to West Virginia like Pittsburgh. Would probably be the best thing, and certainly best from a seeding, and absolutely the best for guaranteeing a playoff berth if Virginia was ACC champion. So Virginia, number 1. I think Virginia beats Virginia Tech. I think they cap off a tremendous season, and I think Tony Elliott is Coach of the Year. So kudos to the Virginia Cavaliers. Thank you to the Virginia fans who I finally ranked you guys first, and you were all over the comments. And I appreciated that last week. I took notice, so thank you for that. Tough one for Georgia Tech. Could still have a great year if you can go beat go beat Georgia, win 10 games, great year. You lose to them, feels like a bit of a collapse, losing 3 pretty late in the year, playing our worst football at the end. But those top 5, really top 6, all really impressive. And Clemson beat South Carolina in the years. Not a complete and total failure, I'll say that. So, hey, hope you enjoy these. They take a lot of time to prepare, but I really enjoy your comments, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you for everyone who's been consistent in watching, commenting. If you're one of those people, please like this video, please hype this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate all of you who've supported the channel. It's been awesome this year. We'll do it at least one more time, maybe 2 more times for the ACC Power Rankings. As always, thanks for watching. Thank you to our sponsor, Ready Vets. If you live in the upstate and have a dog or cat that needs immediate care, Ready Vets is the place to go. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.